I just wrestled and beat Matt Cardona. So, it begs the question, am I the new indie god? I just got home a few hours ago, and today we're talking about my big match with the complete Matt Cardona. And this video isn't just about one match. It's about friendship, creative evolution, and about how one rivalry pushed me, the one true villain, to get better. My name is the one true villain, Marty Skull, and this video is a part of my new YouTube series where I discuss all things pro wrestling. So please do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. Just going to start this video by disclosing two things. One, yes, I'm in a different location. I just got home. It's the early evening and it's pissing down raining outside, okay? So I'm not in my usual spot out in the woods. I'm in my office currently. Second thing, I'm very tired, okay? For anyone that watched my typical show day for an independent pro wrestler, you know that our weekends, very limited sleep is had, and this weekend I flew 3 hours to Toronto, got in a car, drove 4 hours, did a meet and greet, wrestled and beat Matt Cardona, did another meet and greet in the intermission, then got back in the rental car, drove 4 hours back to Toronto, fell asleep at a hotel for a few hours, got up again at 5 a.m. in the morning to fly to Atlanta, where I did a show for UCW in Duluth, and then flew home this morning. So it's been a long weekend, so I'm very tired. So guys, please bear with me. So this rivalry, this program, this feud with the complete Matt Cardona, the indie god, where did it all start? So I guess we have to go back to when I first met Matt Cardona. And I first met Matt and we became friends in, I want to say 2018. But what was interesting about meeting Matt is that it wasn't necessarily within a work environment, okay? Because at the time, Matt was signed to the WWE and I was signed to Ring of Honor and New Japan. So it wasn't like we were work colleagues or anything like that. And honestly, our friendship started, myself and Matt, it wasn't even necessarily based on pro wrestling. There was a lot of stuff that we both had in common. I mean, obviously, the obvious one is our love for professional wrestling. I'd say specifically classic pro wrestling. But there's a lot of other stuff that really brought us together. Our passion for the theme parks is one of them. Our passion for, I guess it is wrestling related, but for wrestling figures that really connected us at first. And I'd say also our passion for dining out and food as well. So yeah, myself and Matt, we became friends, but we never ever worked together, right? Obviously, this was 7 or 8 years ago now. Fast forward to now, a lot of things have changed, right? We're both on the independent circuit. And for the longest time, I always thought, oh, you know, it'd be really cool to wrestle Matt Cardona. And just somehow the match never happened. And then that all changed this weekend in Canada for Project X Wrestling. And I should also mention that obviously before meeting Matt, I obviously knew of Matt's work. I do remember watching his YouTube show back in the day. And I do remember like rooting for him, right? Even though I wasn't really watching the WWE product at the time, I did watch some of Matt's shows and I really enjoyed them. And I thought Matt came across as very likable in these videos. And I think the main reason why he did is because you could just tell Matt's genuine passion and love for professional wrestling. You could tell that he just wanted to accomplish his dreams. And you could tell that he was a lifelong fan, just like myself, right? He wasn't one of these athletes or actors or models, whatever it was, and got put into WWE. He was a lifelong fan. You could tell that he wanted to be a pro wrestler ever since he was young. And obviously that's something myself and Matt share. So it's almost like we connected over that kind of love and passion for pro wrestling. And it has to be said, without Matt's YouTube show, Z Long Island True Story, there may have never been a Being the Elite. Obviously, I didn't start Being the Elite, but I was a really, really big part of it. And it's a very, fond memory and fond time of my career. And I think it's how a lot of fans were able to connect with me and see a different side to me, the villain Marty Scurll. And without Matt's he was the guy that kind of opened the gates for wrestlers to use YouTube in a different way and to monetize YouTube and to show the audience and all the fans what us as performers are capable of. And it allowed the fans to connect with the wrestler on a different level. So now they could connect with the wrestler not just through a 10 or 15-minute match or a 2-minute promo. They could see a completely different side of us. And us as performers, we got to share all those experiences with the fans. And I think, just speaking for myself, it really helped me build a bigger connection with my fan base. But for sure, Matt was a true trailblazer for that. So I really hope that people do remember that and that he gets the credit where it's deserved because, yeah, like I said, without him doing what he did, I mean, maybe someone would have done it later, but yeah, Matt was the first, okay? And he's a true trailblazer. And another thing I've got to give Matt credit for, I mean, I hate myself for giving all this credit, but obviously he did all that back in the day with the YouTube show. But then since leaving WWE, he's gone on to reinvent himself, and he's done it probably better than pretty much anyone. And I really have to applaud him for that because there's so many guys that get released from WWE, and a lot of guys just stop wrestling, right? And if they don't do that, maybe they'll go onto the independent circuit and they're pretty much doing the same thing they were doing in WWE. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but for Matt, I don't know if that would have worked. He knew that he had to reinvent himself, and he's gone out there and he's done it spectacularly, right? And he's really hustled. He's one of the hardest working guys I know. And I do remember when Matt first got released from WWE, I was the head booker at the time for Ring of Honor, and he was one of the first people that I contacted to try and get him on board, right? Because I thought, okay, I knew how talented Matt was, and I thought, okay, we could bring him to Ring of Honor. That could be something completely different. Obviously, we didn't know that he was going to end up being the indie god or the deathmatch king or the complete Matt Cardona, but I did reach out to him at the time. Unfortunately, with the pandemic happening, that kind of stopped that from ever happening. But it is quite an interesting thought, right? Matt Cardona in Ring of Honor. So when I found out the news that I would be wrestling Matt Cardona for Project X Wrestling, I was really excited. And it was a different sort of excitement to how I would normally get excited about a wrestling match. Because the thing is with Matt, he has such a big and bold personality and such a big character that there's just so much material, right, to work with. I was thinking, there are so many shots that I can fire at Matt Cardona. I can make videos and posts and content for weeks and weeks and months on end, actually, on Matt Cardona. And if anything, I was just more excited about the story that we could potentially tell outside the ring, even more than the story we could tell inside the ring, right? I just got so inspired creatively straight away, and it was really exciting for me. And I thought, if I'm wrestling Matt Cardona, I'm going to make a really, really big deal out of this. I don't know if you guys follow me outside of YouTube on Instagram or TikTok. My links are in the description, but I got to do a lot of cool stuff to tell this story outside of the ring. Whether it was my honest promo on Matt Cardona about how disgusted I am that he refers to himself as the indie god, whether it was rewriting Matt Cardona's entrance theme from Always Ready to Always Losing. If you haven't checked that out, please do, because I personally had a great time filming that. Then, of course, there was me cosplaying as my favorite Canadian, Matt's wife, Chelsea Green, which seemed to get a lot of attraction and people seemed to really enjoy that. Matt himself, he wasn't too happy about that, but I think at the end of the day, he understands that I'm trying to sell tickets here. I'm trying to sell a match. It just pushed me so hard creatively, and I learned loads of new things as well. Like, I'm teaching myself how to edit all this stuff. And some of the videos I made, I'd never made anything like this before. So I'm like learning on the job. So throughout this program, feud, whatever you want to call it, I was actually getting better at stuff like outside of wrestling, which is really interesting to think about. And I got so many compliments from not just the fans, but from so many peers as well. I had so many different wrestlers reach out, or wherever I was at a show seeing wrestlers, and they would say, "Hey, I saw your video," or "I saw your post. That was awesome." People really got a kick out of it all. And I thought, you know what? Like, I need to take this approach to everything I do now. Okay. Like, if I can do this for this match, I need to do this for every single match, right? I need to treat every single match like it's WrestleMania. And that's something I think Matt has done himself in his career. And so through this experience of working with him, I feel like his work ethic and his creativity has really rubbed off on me. And he hasn't even it's not like he even tried to do so, but even just going into this program with him, it's forced me to get better. And it's really brought out the best in me. So begrudgingly, I do have to thank Matt for that. And I just love the fact that in this day and age, even if you're not on TV, you can still tell stories. And I love that because I think deep down, ultimately, I'm a storyteller. And if you're on the independent circuit, that's quite a task, right? If you're not on TV, how would you tell stories? Well, lucky enough, we have these things now. I'm filming this on a phone and we can tell stories through this. So I think that's really great. And even if fans didn't get chance or won't get chance to watch the match, hopefully the match will eventually be on YouTube. But even if they don't watch the match, it's like they can still come along for the ride and they can still enjoy the journey. And like I said, I had just as much fun telling this story through the forms of social media as I did the match itself. And the match was an absolute blast as well. And the match itself for Project X Wrestling, it's just crazy to think that before this, we'd never touched each other before, right? And typically, when you wrestle someone for the first time, you're most likely not going to have great chemistry. Sometimes it takes working with someone at least a handful of times to really get that rhythm together and that in-ring chemistry. And it's very rare that you will wrestle someone for the first time and just instantly click. Spoiler alert, I think me and Matt had pretty good chemistry from the get-go, okay? It certainly helped that the story had been built up so much and the story had been told before the match that by the time we got there, even before we made our entrances, you could just feel the excitement in the building. As I said earlier, I did a meet and greet before the show, and the fans were just so pumped up to see this match. And all the fans were telling me that, "Oh, we can't believe the Chelsea Green video. We can't believe you said that." And they were just so pumped up that by the time I did make my entrance, the crowd was just coming unglued. They were just so ready for it. And then when the audience is like that, when the fans are that rowdy and that into it, it just makes our job so much easier, right? But yeah, the match itself, just so much fun. Matches like that are the reason why I fell in love with wrestling and wanted to become a wrestler in the first place. Just like I said, just telling a story with the crowd being so hyped up is just an absolute pleasure. And man, just so much fun. And when Matt made his entrance, he comes to the ring and he's just such a great heel, right? Because when his entrance music first hit, the people cheered because they're excited to see the match. They're excited to see Matt. It's the first time a lot of the fans would have seen him live. So they're cheering. And Matt, he knows how to turn him like that. He grabs the microphone and he starts going off, right? He's healing the crowd out. He's healing me out. He says, I can't wait to get back to the best country in the world, the United States of America. Big boos. And then the crowd, it was so much fun. They all start chanting, "Chelsea's better, Chelsea's better." And they didn't stop, right? And Matt is just selling it amazingly. He's screaming. He's telling them all to shut up. And it was just so funny. And I couldn't believe how loud these Chelsea chants were. Because when I came to the ring, they're still chanting "Chelsea's better." And I didn't even plan this. Spontaneously, I grabbed the microphone and I said, "Well, Matthew, as we are in the great country of Canada, way big cheap pop, I would like to dedicate this match to my favorite Canadian, your wife, Chelsea Green. And the crowd pops huge, and Matt is selling it great. And it was just such a fun moment. And in back of my head, I'm thinking, how is Chelsea the most over wrestler in this match? And she's not even in it. She's not even in the same city or even the same country, yet she's the most over. I don't want to spoil too much because hopefully we're going to put it on YouTube. Let me know in the comments, guys. Do you want to see the match on YouTube? Just let me know. If enough people want to see it, we're going to put it on YouTube, okay? So I don't want to spoil too much, but it probably couldn't have gone any better. The crowd was just there. They were just hanging on every single sequence or spot or whatever we did. They were right there with us coming along for the ride. So I really couldn't have asked for a better crowd. So gotta thank the Project X Wrestling fans. I love you guys. You've always treated me so well. You treat me, it's funny because obviously I'm the villain, Marty Skell, but in Sudbury, the Project X Wrestling fans, they truly treat me like a hero, right? They really do. And I don't know why. I don't know what they like about me, but for some reason they like me and they accept me. So it's really cool. But yeah, the match was just an absolute pleasure. I have to salute Matt Cardona. Yeah, I mean, you really did push me to step up my game. And for that, I have to give him credit, as much as it hurts me to say. He's really helped me up my game in the last few months or so. So yeah, a genuine thank you to Matt Cardona. He's really helped me grow as a performer in and out of the ring, and he probably doesn't even realize it. And of course, we did finally get the answer, who is the real indie god, because the one true villain, Marty Skell, did pick up the big victory. So I do wonder if maybe somewhere, someday, maybe there'll be a rematch. Who knows? I would certainly love that. I feel like even though we told a great story this time, I think there's still so much more material that has not been touched yet. I would really love to get the opportunity to work with Matt again somewhere down the line in the future. And I think I need to end on this. After all these years of knowing Matt and having a friendship with him, but never getting the opportunity to work with each other or wrestle each other, after this match, I really feel like it was worth the wait. Of course, I would love to hear all of your opinions on this program, on this feud, on this video, okay? On the story that we told. Were you along for the ride? Did you enjoy it? Maybe you got to watch the match live in person. If you did, give me your thoughts. Let me know if you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed doing it. I would really love to know how everyone felt about it. I really would, because yeah, this has just been so much fun. And without you guys, without the fans to come along for the ride, there really is nothing. But you guys, you've all supported me. You've all inspired me to get better. Not just Matt, actually. I should stop thanking Matt. I've got to thank you, the fans, okay? Without you guys, I don't get to do what I love to do. I don't get to live my dreams. And you guys have supported me through thick and thin. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I love you guys. And yeah, do you guys want to see a rematch? Well, okay, guys, that's all we have time for today for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, whoop, whoop.